So traders, there's actually a real big concern about these markets right now, and it's not the actual market itself. It's the way that people are perceiving this markets, because they don't realize they're thinking about the way they're thinking about these markets is wrong, and then there's a cascading of wrong actions, wrong results, and going down the wrong path. And the reason why I'm doing this video for you today is hopefully to share with you some lights about some of the ignorance, the ego, the wrong thinking, the wrong approach around these markets, and why most people actually get it wrong. I've been trading the markets for 20 years. My first 5 years, I was $250,000 in debt. Again, that first link in the description there, guys, I talked to you a lot more about my actual trading strategy and my actual, my story about that. I won't go into too much details about that. But I'm trying to share with you, I'm trying to save you. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm a pretty good trader right now, okay? I do really well as a trader right now. And the reason why I do it right now is because I've learned what not to do. And there was a lot of wrong thinking around my approach over the last, and I've gotten a lot better at it now over the last, say, 5+ years, over the last 20 years of trading. But the reason why I'm doing this video is because there was this comment here. Now, the thing that concerns me about this comment here is this particular gentleman here has been watching me now for a long time. And one of the big things here is this. He said, the thing that concerns me about silver breaking out, because I did a video about silver breaking out, and did you see what happened with silver today? Another update, there's a lot of volume with silver, I'll get to that in just a minute, is the imminent everything drop. And this is the thing here, what in the market is saying the imminent everything drop? Do you know everything right now is screaming bull market? Stock market's at all-time new highs. Silver and gold are actually, gold's still at all-time new highs. Silver has just broken out of a brand new up move. And not only that, but they've just passed the bill of an extra $5 trillion into the markets. So the imminent everything drop, I'm not sure where you're coming up with that. And whoever you've been watching, they need to be fired. Because everything, including the market, now just so you know, look at this here. When I say, and this comment here was coming off the back of silver. Now, here's the thing. If I bring up this chart here, and I'll bring up this chart here with all my moving averages, okay? And if I bring up silver right now, and I show you silver, where in this particular chart over the last 1.5 years has been the art of the imminent everything drop. Where in this here? Yeah, we've had our drops, but look what's been happening here. We have just broken out of this up move, right? And look what's happening here on silver. We've had the what? We've had a low, we've had a high low, and we've had a high low. And we're developing a beautiful up, sideways, up, sideways. So while we may get down move, which I doubt it, and the reason why is if you look at the SLV price today, look at the volume behind SLV. This could be getting ready for not a drop, but a rocket ship to the upside. One of the reasons why my videos for the last week or two have been talking about the silver, right, SLV here, right, look at this here. Look at that volume behind today. This could be the start of something really big out of silver. Silver could be finally catching up. So if you go off the back of this here, you do realize when we look at the chart, what is the chart? What is a chart? A chart is nothing but a representation of what the big boys are thinking and feeling. They're called footprints. And the number one footprint we must go with at all times is trend analysis. If there is a trend intact, leave your ego, leave your fears, opinions, doubts, thoughts, thinking. I don't anything other that. And this is where a lot of people get into trouble here. And trust me, I've learned the hard way, right? And one of the biggest lessons, and I'm going to share with this here, right? I'll share something here with you. One of my most favorite trades that I like taking is what's called a channel trade. Right? It's what's called a channel trade. Now let me show you what I mean here. Let me bring up this chart here, and I'll bring up one of my best trades that I like to trade now, after learning this big lesson, really expensive lesson here, is this here. And it's called the channel trade. And what the channel trade really is this here. And let me see if I'll find you a bullish example, because I'm about to show you a bullish example here. So there's many bearish examples here, but here's what's called a channel trade. This is a channel trade for me. Again, guys, first thing in the description, go learn my actual trading system, and therefore you'll be able to put together, when I say channel trade, a channel trade for me is when the market's been channeling, and then I get my trading set up here. Again, go learn my trading setup and you'll be able to see why the channel trade is the number one, most highest probability, most powerful trading system on the planet that's likely to make a big move. And I'll stand behind that to the cows come home. Unfortunately, the cows never come home. Actually, by the way, leave a comment below. Where did that comment actually come from? The cows come home. But I'm trying to share this here, right? I'm trying to share this with you. My number one thing that I always like to try, my number one thing is this level through here. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up here and I'm trying to show you is because there's many examples that I can show you, right? Just like here, which is what? We have like a bit of a channel. See the channel there? Right, and let me just make that a lot thicker for you. See how we've had this channel through here? It's more like a bit of a channeling. And then we actually get, there's an actual setup here. As it breaks out of the channel, comes back down, finds support, and then takes off. And I could show you many examples here. Here was a bearish example here. Here's an example of a channel trade that happened back in 2003. So this stuff's been going on for a long time. It's not just a matter of now, right? I'll show you more examples here. So these are what's called the channel trade, right? This is the template here that I use for the channel trades. Now, the reason why I'm saying this to you here is this, okay? I'm trying to share with you how my egotistical brain not only stopped myself from making a lot of money in the past, because my ego and there was a lot of ego, thoughts, opinions that goes down with this comment here. And this is the reason why MEMP, I hope you realize that what I'm trying to say here, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to show you the path. If you actually want to do well out of trading, please listen to what I'm saying here, okay? My only role of this video here is to try to help you think the right thoughts and not be down the wrong path. Now, as you can see here, right, this is called the channel trade. Now, in a nutshell, a channel trade is when the market's going on sideways, we break out and we go through there. I, myself, when Trump became elected the very first time, let me bring up the Dow Jones, and let me go back to when Trump was elected the very first time. Now, there is channel trades, and there is this simple trend analysis, right? And remember, I'm looking at a weekly chart here. Now, remember, what is, when we see trend analysis, when they see the market come up, make a high, come down, make a higher low, come back up, come down, come back a higher low, when that happens, guess who's creating that footprint? The big boys. The big boys are creating a footprint. It's called trend analysis. The trend is your friend until the end. We all know that. But then we say, but insert ego, thoughts, opinions, which by the way, everything is screaming for more bullishness out of these markets here. Bearishness this year? No way. Imminent everything, boom, not drop. And so therefore, if you look at this here, and look at this here. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this back up to 2016, which was almost 10 years ago now, when Trump was first elected, because do you know, up until that time, my whole thing was just purely technical analysis. It wasn't fundamental analysis. I didn't know how to read the fundamental analysis. Because I'm not that smart. Like PE ratios and balance sheets and, oh my goodness, it hurts my brain. Oh, do you know what I mean? Like that's for me. But guess what happened? When Trump was being elected, first time, back here, guess what I decided to do? Well, I need to know what's going on right now. And then I went down a rabbit hole and subscriptions and newsletters and Harry Dent and which, by the way, Harry Dent. Anyway. So the purpose of me saying this is if I'm looking at the market as is right now, not who cares? Thinking, thoughts, opinions, egos, next door neighbor. If the next door neighbor says something, right? Anyway, so if we have a look at what's going on right now, what's going on right now? We had a low, rallied up, high, came down, higher low, higher high, higher low. Now, and this is when Trump became elected. Now, if you're looking at this market here, what is clearly the trend? The trend is clearly up. That's not down. So if you're going to call the top in the market right now, you are going to be 90+% success rate on the opposite side. Loser. Well, how do I know? Because I actually went short here. I stopped looking at the technicals, which is the footprint of the big boys. And then I started going down this rabbit hole of, my goodness, a whole bunch of, you name it, babe. Holy, you name it. I went down that rabbit hole. I'm trying to share with you what it really takes. And I was short a lot of money here. Now, I should have been long, because this here is what? This is one of my channel trades. And I should have been long and should have then capitalized. And then out of that long move comes what? You guys know exactly what happened, right? Right. Comes that really big, extraordinary bull market. Now, this is a weekly chart here, by the way. So for a whole 12 months, we had an extraordinary bull market. But was there anything back here to tell me that the top was in? Or there was a imminent drop coming? No, not on the charts. Remember, the charts tell you the true story. If there is a trend, at least if there is a trend in place at that time, you got to go with that. Because remember, it's the big boys, billions and trillions, who push this market around. Not me and not you. And in particular, and if you want to go off the back of anyone, Paul Tudor Jones, one of the most successful traders of our time, always trade with the trend. So the reason why I say that, and then he says this here, silver breakout, everything imminent drop coming. Well, if I go and have a look at the markets now, right? And I'll bring up this chart here. Dow Jones, clearly in a very strong bull leg to the upside, about to break up to all-time new highs. NASDAQ, all-time new highs. Yes, we're probably going to get a bit of a drop or maybe a bit of a sideways period, but not everything drop. S&P 500, all-time new highs. The trend is very strong from here. Very, very, very strong from here. Right? In fact, if you go look at some of my videos, if you go look at my trailer video, there's a trailer video that I did for my YouTube channel, right? And here it is here, right? So this is my YouTube channel here. If you go to my trailer video here, you'll be able to see, look at this here. 2 months ago, OMG, I just noticed this. S&P 500, 7,500 massive rally coming, right? And you can see I did this 2 months ago, right? And I did it, as you can see here. I'm not sure if you can, but I did this when the market was down here, when the market was on the tariff crash. So I've been expecting this rally to come. Now, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. If we go look at everything here, and this is the reason why a lot of people get in trouble, right? Because they insert all this other stuff and they stop themselves from getting ahead. And so if I go look at silver right now, I've been very big in what? Lately, I've been very big on a few things, right? Ethereum is one. And then the silver market. And right now, if I'm looking at the market purely from what the market is doing right now, I can then see what? What can I see? A low, a higher low, and a higher low. We just broke out of all this here. This looks exactly like what happened when Trump was elected. Pretty much exactly. Apart from just a small little bit. And now we're breaking up. Not only are we breaking up, not only are we completely stair-stepping, but even if we do get some sort of a drop or a little bit of a pullback, look at this here. Boom, 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 boom. The overall thing is still trending massively to the upside. So for you and for everyone out there watching this, the reason I'm doing this video is to try to help you and stop you from thinking that like you have to be smart or you have to try to come up with some clever reason. Because if you do, you're going to try to come up with this person here. And everything about these markets, including the $5 trillion that's going to be just passed and put into these markets. The everything drop coming, I think right now by looking at all these markets and looking at the stock market, yes, we're going to get our pullbacks and we will get that. And that might last from a few weeks to sometimes a month or more. We're going to get that in the stock market and gold and silver. But right now, especially when it comes to the silver market, if we have a look at this here from the silver market perspective, and I bring up this screenshot here, look at this chart up here from silver. Silver just broke out up here. Actually, you know what? Let me bring this chart up here, and I'll bring this chart to here. Look where we're at right now with silver. If we do start to really, by the way, yeah, there's a big imminent drop coming. Look at silver since 2023. Overall, what? Stair-stepping up, big upward trend. Now we've just broken out of this major level through here. This is the next major target up here. So, one, that's one of the reasons why I've been very bullish on that level there. And then also the silver mining sector. Look at the silver mining. Look at this here. Look at SIL. If we could start to break above level through there, we have a little bit more resistance and support around that level there, I would say, which is around the 50, 53, 54 level. But once we break this, by the way, what's been the trend since 2024? Just go with the market. Go with the trend. The trend is your friend until the end. And the market, yes, while we do get our drops at high, low, drop, high, low, drop, high, low, and then away we go.